Well, things are heating up out there. The chase for the playoffs is in full effect as it was another wild week of hockey, full of chaos, some massive hits. That one just, wow. Some impressively bad officiating, quite possibly the save of the year. The fastest overtime goal in NHL history, as well as some great sound bites.
You know, a good play by him, I guess.
If you're a goalie, tend to goal, so to speak.
For the horn? Jesus.
Did you think what you said was that egregious?
No.
And all the other guys gonna have a misconduct.
Tommy, if you want to go center ice, I've been waiting my whole career for one.
And so much more. So let's go around the league and check out everything worth another look. A long look. Starting with the notables, and obviously Aaron Ekblad getting suspended 20 games for violating the terms of the NHL Performance Enhancing Substances program was a big one. A 20-game sussy for the Florida defenseman who claims the failure of the test was a shock to him. He made a mistake, and you know the script, but it never came out what exactly it is that he took.
Codeine, Vicodin, fentanyl, Paladone.
I have no idea.
But yeah, 20 games is the automatic for your first failed test, so that's mandated. But it is interesting to me that Shane Pinto got double the amount of games for gambling in non-NHL related events. Priorities, though, I suppose. But they just picked up Jones, coincidentally, as Ekblad will now be perfectly rested for Game 3 of the NHL playoffs. I'm sure everyone in Sunrise is real upset about this. But of course, the great chase continued as we saw Ovechkin score 887, a pretty one too, as he officially is now just 8 goals away, on pace for April 12th to break the record. He also confirmed that next season is very likely to be his last in the NHL, which we've kind of known for a while, but yeah, enjoy it while he's here, folks. We also saw Crosby in Vegas with a classic knee drop, and in case you needed a reminder, he's still good. Before he would score the second of the game, and yeah, there's another, as Sid the not so much a kid with 2 on the night would become the first player in NHL history with multi-goal games against 31 different franchises. He's just missing Utah and Pittsburgh, of course. And last but certainly not least, Nathan MacKinnon, who already was the first to 100 points this season against Chicago, with the ample on this Natchez goal, secured his 1,000th career point. 100th player to ever do it. The bench cleared a beautiful... Wait, what? No. This one would be looked at, and look at him. He already knew, as it was indeed offside.
I actually thought about that before the game, that they're going to call it back when everyone came on, so it came true. Yeah.
But no worries, he'd pick up the secondary on the icebreaker in the third, and for the second time of the night, the bench would clear, as I think he just became the 100th and 101st player to 1,000. For perspective, he is the first in his draft class to 1,000, with Barkov in second at 771. It was also cool to see Landeskog, who assisted on his first ever goal, present him with the 1,000-point gold stick. But with that, let's get to the nasty. And this is a loaded segment this week. This was in Boston, and in case you needed a reminder, the Bruins and Panthers absolutely hate each other. The last 3 minutes of this game were chaos. Zadorov giving Bennett the business before Bennett and Zadorov, now with just 3 seconds, would go at it. The linesman struggling to break him up as Z was absolutely fired up. Let's go, bitch. Then Detroit Buffalo was another heater after Kane with a 5-point game lit them up, but I'm not sure Buffalo was having a whole lot of fun. A full-out brawl on the ice. Kane's like, hey, you want me to score another? But listen to this.
Troy's gonna have a minor for roughing, and all the other guys gonna have a misconduct.
And by the end of this one, Buffalo's bench was looking awfully light. Headed to Utah, and this was great. It's Benoit and Kesselring as Benoit goes Bieksa Superman on him before getting absolutely pummeled by Kesselring. But then check this out. Ooh, reset the thumb himself, and oh, that's breaking news. LeBron is now month to month simply from watching this clip. Crazy stuff, but really, I mean, what a photo. He may have lost the fight, but I have to put this one into my collection. On Long Island now, it was Romanov getting his lid popped by Losterinen with an elbow to the dome. That couldn't have felt good, as in Buffalo, we saw Kulik absolutely demolished by Howden. His lid went flying, as what a devastating hit. He would stay down. Krebs would immediately come into his defense, as he actually ended up getting the 10-minute misconduct for instigating. We also got Pearson sitting down Clifton a little later in the game, but in Toronto, this was a real physical one. Here it was Domi going straight through Verhaeghe, a beautiful hit, as Ekman Larson with the reverse hit here got called for interference, which doesn't often get called these days, but Matthew Highmore trolling was loving it. And we even got the officials in on the action. Shabbat leveled by the linesman in Ottawa. Headed to St. Louis, this was pretty good. Joseph in alone got a nasty whack to the wrist from Zegras, and he did not like it. Take a seat, Zegras. Now, of course, we also saw Bedard have himself a rough week. Caught a cross check here, then a puck to the neck immediately after. Felt he got tripped up on this play, but there was no call, as, come on, that's a trip. Well, you see, Connor, I'm legally blind. Yeah, bite me, is what I think he said, but I don't know. He got a 10-minute misconduct for abuse to the official.
Did you think what you said was that egregious?
No, I didn't think it was too crazy.
Well, next game, he's in his hometown, parents in the crowd, and he'd get into it with Hronik and Suter there as well. They were chirping, and he got another 10-minute misconduct. Brutal stuff for the kid this week, as it was also not a great week for the officials. This nasty hit on Hedl from behind by Dickinson, you can see the whiplash went uncalled, and sure enough, he's out.
I don't know. I don't know what they're seeing. We try to focus on what we can control.
That's back-to-back games the Canucks lost the guy, as in Calgary, Elias Pettersson with a big hit was immediately targeted by Conor Zary. Nasty hit to the back of the head that landed him a 2-game sussy. Meanwhile, Trouba with maybe the worst attempt at a body check you can have. Doesn't know what angle to take, right, left, nah, chin, as he literally lunges himself at Kairu's head. And lastly, even the goalies were getting feisty. Rasmussen, in my opinion, pushed into Samsonov, would catch a nasty shot from Samsonov with the blocker, as he was not pleased. But not everyone wanted the smoke.
Tommy, if you want to go center ice, I've been waiting my whole career for one. Not that stupid.
So how about we lighten things up a bit? That is Tanev, as the tradition lives on. Leaves me wondering how long before Hughes follows suit. We also got an all-time staring contest between Chernak and Michkov. Impressive stuff. This went on for quite a while. But back in Philly, we got the rare triple doink from Konechny, as he went post to post, crossbar, and out. A rare knob stop from Wolf in Calgary, and an even rarer knob clear from Othman. But even more rare, at least in recent years,
the crowd chanting, "We want playoffs."
But lastly, a not so rare L from the officials. Here it's Marchment stick in the air, as Taves' stick in Mason's skates meant naturally it would be Marchment who served the time for a trip. And while we're here, we saw Broncos quarterback Bo Nix tossing balls out into the crowd. Robinson needed a toe from Stahl after losing a blade, and I don't know, these are just never not funny to me. And while we saw some great lettuce in the Minnesota high school tourney last week, this here, folks, is the oldest 19-year-old on the planet. All right, let's keep it moving. A friendly reminder, Brad Marchand is a Florida Panther, and Joe Sacco looking over his lineup, that's not the reaction you want to see. And then this is crazy work. Always a rough day when you're traded for future considerations. Even worse, though, when it was your own father who did it. Will MacKinnon of the Utica Comets was traded to Cleveland by Dan MacKinnon, Comets GM and father of Will. That family dinner is gonna hit different. Okay, you guys think Hughes wants the puck?
Sorry, I couldn't hear it. People screaming at me. It's all right. We'll give it a sec for the horn. Jesus.
But from here, let's slide over to the goalies, where we saw Igor in Winnipeg steal Tanev's stick, go for the save with it before yeeting that thing into your living room. He's got such a short fuse, and I love it. Going east to Ottawa, we got maybe the save of the year. Linus Ullmark against his former club goes all the way across his crease to absolutely rob Lowry. What a pretty stop, as Lauko can't even believe it. And I don't know, did Boston trade the wrong goalie? Back to that Colorado-Chicago game, Scott Wedgwood was brilliant, robbing Bedard Bedard with the left pad on this one. Before, against the captain Foligno, another as he stretches out the mitt for what was a shutout. Tarasov similarly against Kreider in Columbus, who was on the doorstep, shut him down twice with the trapper. And in Montreal, it was Montour casually flashing that leather to stop Verhaeghe from the slot. Going back to the island, we saw Sorokin show off his Pilates skills, stretching out that right pad on Podkolzin. And when all else fails, Vejmelka up a creek with a paddle, lays it down for a beautiful save on Riley. Then Hofer against oh no. Stay in your net! Oh God, no. 3 in 1 week?
Yeah, I got to work on my dangles a little bit. If you're a goalie, tend to go, so to speak.
Yes, that's a good idea. Now, he did have a 48 save game this week, and he did have that ridiculous save against Lowry, so we'll call it even. And when you've got help like this, I mean, does it even really matter? Check out this great back check from Highmore before batting a puck out of mid-air to stop a sure goal. I don't even know how he got a stick on this. Wow. And we saw a lot of great defensive plays this week, as here it was Hull against Velarde getting the leg down for a beauty. DeBrincat defending the empty net to shut down Stutzla. Sergachev in Utah backstopping Vejmelka, as the Vezina may just go to a player this year. Slafkovsky with a wide open net shut down by Forsling. But believe it or not, we did see goals being scored this week, as that right there is a little NHL history. The fastest goal to start in overtime ever at just 4 seconds. Montour caught Hudson napping, and he made him pay.
He's moving before it drops, so I'm already out of the race because he's got a head start. Hope he isn't cheating that hard to roll the dice. Good play by him, I guess.
That is one salty rookie. Suzuki against Vancouver had a beauty to start that game. Just a minute into the first, draws Lankinen to his left and beats him on the right. Similarly, also against Vancouver, it was Kadri also against Lankinen. Kadri faking the shot, fakes the backhand, and Lankinen attempting the poke is beat on his right again. Marner in the shootout against Utah was real smooth with it. He's got dangles for days, hypnotizing Vejmelka to sleep as he wins it for the Leafs in the shootout. And 2 games later, this time it's Marino smooth with it for Utah. Nice little drag before feeding Stenlund for the easy tap in. But we had some quirky ones as well. We saw Drew Doughty score maybe the longest goal of the year, high along the boards, as with the empty net, it was just how he drew it up dead center. In Vancouver, it was Pettersson dangling shot, and was that not in? Sure looked like it, but regardless, Holander for good measure would score another. But yes, that Pettersson shot was indeed a goal. Back to Calgary, it was Huberdeau, and where is it? What happened? Goal? Goal! You better believe it. And back to that Montreal-Seattle game, this one I just loved Slafkovsky's reaction, as yes, it got up there, but it was deemed a good goal.
I was 100% sure that was the highest stick I ever had.
And to finish things off, Cale Makar, who is an absolute freaking machine, scored a beauty against Dallas, and his former teammate Rantanen to win it in overtime, marking his 25th of the season, as he now has more goals than guys like Austin Matthews, Sidney Crosby, and Connor McDavid. I mean, that is impressive stuff, but I think that's about where I'm going to leave it this week. Thank you guys as always for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.